What's up, guys? Back again with another video. It's your boy, Multiple Voice Guy. And now before you ask why my set looks different, obviously my cousin's over, so had to be out in the game room. And of course, I know what y'all are thinking. Why didn't I do this video on Halloween? Well, I was celebrating Halloween. But hey, at least I'll get this video out for Thanksgiving. So, since November, be sure to comment down below what you're thankful for. And also, what did you do for Halloween, you know? Like, did you go trick-or-treating? Did you go to a party? Did you do what I did and stayed home and watched horror films? Oh, man. So basically, there's this idea I saw on YouTube. I've seen Cody Beach do it, Brian Lomax, Sean Chandler, and all these other popular YouTubers. So, huge shout out for them, the idea. And that is ranking all 33 of these films of Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. The big three horror franchises. And since there's a lot of movies in this list, I'm going to split the video into 3 parts. This video, I'm going to keep going over all the movies until I get to 20. And then in part 2, I'll do all of them until I get to 11. In the last one, I'll do the top 10. So, how about we kick this started with last place, bottom of the barrel. The absolute worst movie out of all 33 of these movies. Is Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Yeah, this shouldn't be a surprise. This film is basically, short term, they just turned Freddy into a joke in this movie. The whole Freddy having a daughter, that is legit a plot twist that came out of nowhere. And of course, the kills are more fitted for a Looney Tunes cartoon than a horror movie. Robert Englund just has too much fun with this. And funny thing is, this was my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie as a kid. But then as I grew up and I developed something called taste, I realized, yeah, this movie's garbage, honestly. So basically, number 33, number 33, Freddy's Dead, Final Nightmare. Yeah. May I say more? Alright, and coming up in 32, we have Halloween Resurrection. By far the most unforgivable out of the franchise. Basically because, first of all, the fact that they kill off Laurie Strode in the first 10 seconds of the film, which from Jamie Lee Curtis's perspective I could understand, but because she was basically done after the bullshit in H2O, which I get it, but other than that, this film just doesn't cut it for me. I think Brad Loree is an okay Michael Myers. And then there's the whole thing with Busta Rhymes, which, yeah, Busta Rhymes whipping Michael Myers with karate moves he learned on TV. Get out of here. And then electrocuting Michael Myers' nuts. Like, no. The new Final Girl is pretty forgettable, and that is why I don't like this film. That's why it's like a sloppy early 2000s film, early 2000s horror movie that they decided, you know, we'll throw Michael into the mix. That's why 32, Halloween Resurrection, piece of crap movie. Yep. Alright, and coming up at number 31, we have Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Short term, the killer isn't Jason. Instead, the killer is a lame copycat named Roy Burns, who is a paramedic. And also, the whole, what am I trying to say here? Oh yeah, and the fact that they basically, and also John Shepard's performance as Tommy Jarvis, he was just too crazy and weird. I just didn't dig it. Like, and honestly, if you're gonna have a copycat killer, at least have the copycat killer be Tommy Jarvis. Because, you know, we would have all bought it, you know, judging from the way he looked into the camera at the end of part 4. We kind of thought he was gonna be the killer for the rest of the franchise. And also, there's even a later scene where he hides a switchblade under his bed. And it's just, no. And also, dude, if you're mad about the dude who killed your son, why don't you just kill the guy who killed your son? Not take it out on all these other innocent people that don't deserve it. It's basically a Scooby-Doo episode, and it does not work for me. Alright, number 30? Yeah, number 30. Alright, now coming up at number 30, we have Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Yeah, you're gonna learn very quickly, or if you've seen my Halloween ranking, you know that I am not the biggest fan of this movie. It makes a lot of bold decisions. You know, first up, through the course of the film, Michael Myers looks less Michael Myers and more like a homeless guy. Laurie Strode went from being this bad survival girl to a really annoying roommate to every time you hear her voice, you just want to stab yourself in the ears with a screwdriver. Echo McDowell's Loomis went from being this guy who tried to care about the people and capture Michael Myers to this really selfish jerk who only cares about selling books. And it's just, and if you watch the director's cut, he says die, and then he gets shot down, or he gets impaled on some farm equipment and stabbed through his skull. Either one's not good. He grunts and all that stuff. The kills are good, the blood is really good, but other than that, just no, Rob Zombie. I don't even know why they decided to hand you Michael Myers, Rob Zombie. Just, what have you done to Michael Myers? Just, what have you done? And there are people out there that, defend this movie, but me, no, I'm with the crowd that hates it. Just piece of crap movie. And since I don't have a DVD for this one, you guys already know, coming up in number 29 is Halloween Ends. This, yeah, first thing first, instead of Laurie Strode getting wasted in this movie, Michael Myers gets wasted in this movie. Michael Myers doesn't barely get any kills. He only gets like 2. The rest of the kills are performed by Corey. Like, when I see a Halloween movie, I want to see these kills be performed by Michael Myers, not some lame wannabe. And it's just, it's so bad. And of course, I was starting to like the character of Corey until through the third act they just say his character and just kill him off, which, man, yeah, like, I was starting to like the character of Corey. I thought maybe he would realize there's evil inside him and maybe he can live a life with Allison. But no. No. Michael Myers, in the last film, Michael Myers was strong, was big and strong, and in this film he's weak and pathetic. And actually, thanks to Halloween Ends, I kind of like Halloween Kills a little bit more now. But I still just find it okay. But, so yeah. But if you want to hear my full gripe with it, watch my re-rank of the Halloween series. But basically, yeah. 29, Halloween Ends, piece of crap movie. Let's move on. Okay. Alright. Okay, and coming up at number 28, we have Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. By far the most gayest horror movie I've ever seen, but of course not the reason why I hate it. I actually think some of the gay jokes were pretty funny, and I'm a huge supporter in the LGBT community. To me, this did not feel like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. This felt more like a high school drama romance that just happened to have Freddy. And it just didn't work. The whole scene with Freddy crashing a pool party, that can go f itself. I'm just not the biggest fan of this movie. I hate it. It sucks. And I just, and I do have to give huge respects to Jesse's actor, the main antagonist in the movie, who was a closeted homosexual at the time the film came out. Yeah, and he made a documentary called Scream Queen: My Nightmare on Elm Street, which I hear is actually pretty good. But other than that, not the biggest fan of this film. Yeah, this film is just, I don't know, I didn't dig this film. Good things about the movie? Well, there's a few good kills. They do a good job of making Freddy more darker. But other than that, this film was just not my cup of tea. It wasn't, honestly. Yeah, so that's why number 28, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Alright, and coming up at number 27. Alright, coming up at number 27, we have Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, to me, basically, first up, this is false advertising. You know, Jason does not take Manhattan. More like Jason takes a boat to Vancouver due to budgeting issues. Yeah, most of it takes place on a yacht. By far the most boring out of the franchise. Really, the only part that was filmed in New York was that iconic shot of Jason standing in Times Square. The characters are boring. What else? Jason unmasked in this film is disgusting, honestly. Like, he looks like a Chuck E. Cheese alien animatronic having a malfunction. Basically, the last 20 minutes take place in Vancouver. Because, you know, they couldn't afford to film much in New York, which, why don't you just call this film what it actually is? Jason on a boat. Like, seriously, like, the title does not deliver. Good things about the movie. I like the design for Jason. I love the boxing kill where he punches a dude's head clean off. And, of course, the opening song at the opening credits. The darkest side of the night burns like a fire. But, other than that, I just did not dig this film at all. And of course, the whole final girl having ghost hallucinations of baby Jason. Like, what the f... And of course, the whole toxic sludge turning you back into a little kid. Yeah. Way to end off your franchise, Paramount. And speaking of ending off a franchise, coming up at number 26, we have Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Which really is not The Final Friday. Yeah, New Line Cinema's first Jason movie. So, what does New Line Cinema decide to do in their first Jason movie? They kill Jason off. Yeah, to me, this did not feel like a Nightmare on... this did not feel like a Friday the 13th movie. This felt more like a body-snatching witchcraft movie that just happened to have Jason. It sucks. Like, through the whole movie, Jason's soul possesses other different people, which I think is so dumb and stupid. Well, Jason isn't Jason 4, the design is good. Of course, Kane Hodder does try his best for a little time he has. Creighton Duke, by far one of the most coolest characters in this movie, is legit killed by Jason. Like, he's legit, we're gonna kill Jason, like, we're gonna kill him for real this time. And then once he goes up against him, dead. And I don't care what you people say, Creighton Duke died. Which was really sad, because I would have loved to see a brawl between him and Jason. But no, we didn't get that. We instead got this and I just didn't dig it. And that is why it is in my number 26. Yeah. Alright, coming up in number 25. Alright, coming up in number 25... we have Rob Zombie's 2007 Halloween. Like, basically, and this is the first example for why we should never humanize Michael Myers. I'm not saying you can't humanize Michael Myers, you have every right to. But basically, that just takes away the point of the character. Like, John Carpenter viewed this Michael Myers as his embodiment of evil. But in this film, Rob Zombie tried to humanize him, which just did not work. Like, basically, he gave Michael the basic, rough home life, bullying, and all that stuff. And like half of the movie is just Michael Myers as a kid. And the other half is just redone parts of the original that's just boring as The Laurie Strode replacement really isn't nothing to write home about. Now, I actually did like Malcolm McDowell's take on Dr. Loomis. Well, at least in this film, not in the second one. God. And the kills are good. And if you watch the director's cut, there's a really disgusting scene in here, which was completely uncomfortable and completely unnecessary. I'm not going to go into it because I feel like my channel will get demonetized, but if you know, you know. Which, absolutely disgusting, unforgivable. The design for Michael Myers is good, the kills are good, but other than that, this film is honestly. So that's why number 25, Halloween 2007. Yeah. Okay, number 20. Alright, and since I don't have a disc for this one, coming up at number 24, we have the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I hate this film. Basically, I would probably say the main thing I hate about this film is Nancy, but she's like the second main thing. Like, basically, Rooney Mara just gave zero f***s during this movie. She even blatantly bladed that she didn't give a f***. And, like, seriously, like, why would you even accept the paycheck? Why would you go to the audition? Why would you sign up for the role if you didn't like it, girl? Like, that just makes no sense. Jackie Earle Haley, horrible Freddy. Basically, Freddy's the main thing I hate about this film. Now, I normally love Freddy, but in this, no. Now, I will give Jackie Earle Haley some props. He does do a good job of making Freddy more dark and sinister. But other than that, he fails to live up to the Freddy we all know and love. Not the biggest fan of Jackie Earle Haley's performance as Freddy Krueger. And, of course, the whole turning Freddy into a kid toucher, that's just disgusting. I mean, I get it was hinted at, but it probably just should have been better that it was hinted at, not actually fully embraced. And they even try to make you feel sympathy for Freddy by basically saying, like, oh, what if he was just an innocent man and the kids lied about him, and the parents immediately jump to conclusions. But then they reveal, nah, psych, he's evil. But yeah, he's Freddy Krueger. We've known this since 1984. Absolutely disgusting. And also, the kills aren't even all that good, you know. Most of them are just recreations from the original. And even the most simple effect of Freddy coming out of the wall that they probably bought with some, like, cheap spandex that cost them probably, like $2. In the film, it's replaced with crappy CGI. And I just did not dig this film at all. And that's why it's in my number 24. Alright, coming up in number 23, we have Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Yes, this is the film that has nothing to do with Michael Myers. And it just sucks. You know, first up, the fact that, what am I trying to say here? The fact that this film has nothing to do with Michael Myers. Now, from John Carpenter's point of view, I can understand because, you know, he originally wanted it to be an anthology series where each movie takes place on Halloween just with a different story. And that's what he tried with this film, but it just didn't work. Now, if you took out the Halloween 3 title and just left Season of the Witch, now this would probably be a really respectable horror film. But no. You instead had to do this and just a lot of people off. And it does not work at all. Some of the kills are okay. Colonel Cochran, or whatever his name is, he was alright. And of course, the idea was interesting, you know, an evil toy company that makes evil Halloween masks that kills kids on Halloween night with witchcraft. That was an interesting story, but the execution was just stupid. Like, basically, this is how I feel about this film. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! And even though people are starting to warm up to this film and consider it a cult classic, I will never. Just give me my boy Michael Myers and I'll be happy. Hey, and speaking of Michael Myers, coming up at number 22, we have Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Or to all you purists out there, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, because there's no number in the title. This film just does not do it for me. The design for Michael Myers is standard. I love that George P. Wilbur came back to play Michael Myers. The kills are good, the atmosphere is kind of good, but basically, in this film, you know, like, there's no main reason for why Michael did the things he did. He's just evil. And in this film, they just play him as a pawn in a cult, which is just so stupid. And this is another example for why we should never humanize Michael Myers. Like, he basically goes after people that's related to him to lift his family curse, which is by far the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, seriously, this whole Curse of Thorns stuff was just something they threw in 5 and decided to explain in this film. And sadly, this is the last film with Donald Pleasence as Dr. Loomis, because, you know, he sadly passed away after this film was released, which, rest in peace, Donald Pleasence. But to me, no. Did not dig Paul Rudd as grown-up Tommy Doyle. I'm not saying he was bad, I just said I just wish they could have picked a better actor. Yeah, in fact, this is the first film that started his career, and it and it doesn't matter which version of this film you talk about, the theatrical cut or the producer's cut. This film sucks, honestly. And that's why it is in my number 22. Alright, and coming up at number 21, we have Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, basically, this film is well hated, and for good reason. But me personally, I just dislike it. For a couple of reasons. First off, the design for Michael Myers. Like, seriously, like, if you thought the mask in 4 was bad, wait till you see the mask in this film. The neck is overgrown, the eyes are too big, they look like alien eyes, and his hair is laid back. Really, guys? You honestly thought this was improvement over 4? And of course, speaking of 4, they throw away the plot twist ending of Jamie being the killer, and then they thought, nah, let's just make another film about Michael Myers. And then we're back to the same basic formula. Dr. Loomis is pretty creepy in this movie. You know, he's in everyone's personal space, and he's getting pretty touchy. Yeah, Dr. Loomis is kind of disgusting in this film. Don Shanks as Michael Myers, really nothing to write home about. Yeah, basically, the kills are standard, honestly. And of course, we have all this Curse of Thorn crap now, which honestly, I think they just Googled Halloween and Thorn and just called it a day. The defeat for Michael Myers is pretty stupid, where there's chains falling on him, he's shot with darts and beat by a 2x4, and then he's put into jail. Then a mysterious Men in Black character just breaks him out. Like, what the Like, this film just made no sense. I dislike it, and yeah. And of course, through half the film, Jamie's a mute, then the other half she talks like that. I don't know. This film just didn't do it for me. And that's why it's in my number 21. Why it's in my number 21. Alright, to end off part 1, coming up at number 20, we have Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Now, this is another film I dislike, and for good reason. First up, the fact that, they basically take the victory from 3 and just toss it out the window, basically. Basically, the design for Freddy's good, the kills are good, but there's just really nothing to write home about. They kill off the survivors from the last, movie in the first 10 seconds of the film, which is what I meant by they take the victory from 3 and toss it out the window. And of course, they replace, Christian with Tuesday Night, which I understand, since Patricia Arquette didn't want to come back. But honestly, why? Like, why would you accept the paycheck? Why would you go to the... No, I'm getting roped into the remake. Like, I mean, at least try to find somebody who looks like Patricia Arquette. Tuesday Night looks nothing like Patricia Arquette. This film is bad. The kills are actually quite good. And of course, they kill off the characters we all know and love and replace them with low-developed characters. Alice is an okay final girl, but I just wish they could have picked someone. She'll never beat Nancy, honestly. Yeah, this film, really nothing to write home about, but I don't hate it like most you people do, but it's still not a Nightmare on Elm Street movie for me. It's just not one that I would immediately pop in. Okay, and that's going to end part 1. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, be sure to comment down below what you're thankful for and what did you do for Halloween. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.